Welcome to Possibilities.
Possibilities is a program that showcases the talents of persons with disabilities.
It's not the body that does it, but the brain that does it.
Possibilities.
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 Hello and welcome to Possibilities. My name is Dixon Tanongo. Possibilities is a program designed to showcase the talents of persons with disabilities who have made it in life, in education, in all sectors, artisans, those who choose to improve their life in any way. Possibilities is the place where we demonstrate the same abilities in disabilities. On today's program with me, I have in the studio Barrister Apomida Haruna Samani. Barrister, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Apomida, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, as you said, I'm a lawyer. I work with the Federal Ministry of Justice, and I'm also an advocate for the right of persons with disabilities. I had my LLB at Ahmadu Bello University. From there, I did my law school in Lagos. I was called to bar in 2011. And then I got engaged in the disability community in 2011 when I came for my service in Abuja. I served at National Human Rights Commission, and then I served under the Desk Officer on Disability then. That was how I picked up interest in the disability community. And I'm also a woman with disabilities, so I saw a lot of things that needed to be changed. And
yeah, I was actually going to ask you, what happened? Were you born with a disability, or it was an accident, or how comes you have challenges?
Okay. No, I wasn't born with a disability. It happened when I was 2. I was told that it was a domestic accident. Of course, you don't expect me to know what happened when I was 2 years old. So, yeah. So
how do you feel when how old were you?
I was 2. I was told a knife stabbed me. I don't know exactly what happened, but it was a knife wound on my head that affected the left side of my body. And then I wasn't able to walk, but after a while I started walking and I lost the use of my left hand. So that was what happened.
And what is the challenge of having one hand that is not too functional? How do you confront that challenge? Because even when you have your 2 hands, one still needs help. Now you have one. How do you do it?
Really? I don't even see it as a challenge at all. That's the truth. Because while growing up, I grew up in a family where I was treated like every other person, like my other siblings. I do the same house chores as them. Sometimes I even tell myself, my mom sometimes tells me that you even work harder than every other person in the house. You understand? So I do a lot of things. I cook, I clean, right now I drive, I stay alone. As I am right now, I stay alone. I do everything on my own. So I don't even have a help or somebody who helps me do everything. So I don't
drive with one hand?
Of course, I do drive.
I want to see you drive one of these days.
No problem.
Apomida, you are a lawyer. I know the challenge of navigating through school, and even able-bodied persons face a whole lot of challenges. Now I'm talking of somebody who have some limitations, and how do you cope? How were you able to cope with secondary school, university, and the almighty law school? How was the experience like?
Experience. The truth is, it was like every other person. The only thing is discrimination in when I was in primary school. Did I really face it? We're still kids, so a lot of them didn't really know anything. A lot of us, not them, a lot of us didn't know anything. But when I got to secondary school, I had some group of girls, because I went to an all-girls school. So I had this group of girls that felt as if I was different. I couldn't roll in their clique and stuff like that. So they weren't my friends. They always want to send me out of out of the class when they are there and stuff like that. But gradually, I overcame all that, and now some of them even come to me, and they're like, they are sorry for what happened before, that they never understood then, but now they know better. And then right now I'm even doing way better than a lot of them. So
Wow.
I overcame that. And then in university, I had one or two comments. It all borders on, the attitudinal barrier we always talk about, the way people see persons with disabilities. But about challenges, I didn't find any challenge in school, like reading or anything. It was just normal for me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your work. You are a lawyer. Do you practice? How is your...
Yes, I do. I work with the Federal Ministry of Justice, so of course, I
So you practice
have
as a
to
lawyer.
practice. Yes.
How is practicing? You enjoy practicing that?
Not really. Let me tell you, my passion is actually with the disability community, because I see a lot of work that has to be done. That's where my passion lies. Like growing up, I became disabled when I was a child, and then growing up, my parents didn't treat me any different.
Yeah.
My siblings didn't treat me any different. But then I've seen a lot of children, that have been abandoned. I've visited a number of schools special schools in Abuja, and I've heard stories about how parents abandon their children in these schools because they don't want to be associated with such children. I've heard stories about parents killing their children because they have disabilities. You understand? So I've identified the problem in the disability community, and I've seen that we don't have our rights protected in this country. So that's where my passion
So you have
lies.
passion for activism.
Yes.
And how successful have you been as an activist?
So far, I'll say I'm still learning, but I try to lend my voice in the little way I can. I've partnered with a lot of organizations. Personally, I have registered one, Haliho Foundation, which is still upcoming. So what I do is I try to learn under people that are already deep into the advocacy work. Like it started with my supervisor then in National Human Rights Commission, Hajia Jamila. She was the person that actually got me interested in this, because she spoke to me. When I came to Abuja, I was still not, how will I even say it? I was still naive.
Yeah.
I was still scared. I was still suffering from, insecurities. But she spoke to me and made me to see how I can also be of great value to the society. And that way, you understand, I try to get people who are there to mentor me and all that.
We will be taking a short break, and when we come back, our guest will be talking to us on other issues as it relates to her work in the disability community. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Possibilities, and my guest has been Apomida. Apomida, let's talk about this issue of persons with disabilities begging on the street. What's your take about seeing our fellow brothers and sisters begging everywhere?
Wow. This is a huge menace that I think we really need to all put our hands on deck as the disability community and as persons with disabilities who have made it in life. I always believe in mentorship. And I think that we as persons with disabilities who have somehow been able to surmount the whole discrimination and have able to, what I call jump the hurdle, we should be able to also hold the hands of those upcoming persons with disabilities who see as if they cannot make it in life, who feel as if everything is over, because most of them beg because they don't have an option. You understand? So I feel as persons with disabilities who have made it, thank God, I think I have, no, cut this please completely.
Go on.
No, continue talking.
Okay,
They
I
are
should
going to
continue.
edit.
Oh, okay, you edit it.
Continue.
Okay, okay. So I feel as persons with disabilities who have been able to, you know, overcome all the discrimination and everything that has been happening in the society, we should be able to mentor those that are still struggling with that. And if we see persons with disabilities on the street begging, we shouldn't just, you understand, we shouldn't just discard them or see them as not being part of us. It all starts with me and you. We have to look for a way to encourage these people to go beyond begging on the street, to see themselves as more than beggars. And that is why we actually need our bill to be assented by the president so that it can become a law. That way, a lot of things will be easier for us persons with disabilities. So I think seeing persons with disabilities on the street usually breaks my heart.
So, what do you think is the best way of integrating persons with disabilities in the society? How do we do that? Whose responsibility? Is it the government? Is it individuals? Is it the civil society? Whose responsibility it is to make sure that persons with disabilities are integrated into the society?
Well, the biggest actors in this is always the government, you understand? But then, we cannot always sit and leave everything to the government. If we do that, a lot of us, looking at our peculiarity as a country, Nigeria, if we leave everything to the government, we're going to suffer. So I think it starts from the family. It starts from reorientating the family to see that those people they have, those brothers, those sisters they have with disabilities, they can also be something in the future. It starts from when you're small. It starts from you and I seeing the next person as any other person.
Interesting.
Yes.
A whole lot of effort have been made in the time past to rehabilitate persons with disabilities, and the story has always been that they prefer to be on the street. What's your take? Do you think a person prefer to be on the street?
I don't agree with that. That's a totally wrong notion because I think they're always going about it the wrong way. You know, most people feel as if you just give them money and then everything will go away. But it goes way beyond just giving them money. If someone is already used to being on the street and you just pick the person up and just give him like 20,000, okay, go set up a business. You know, that person is going to, first of all, is going to think about how he's going to solve his hunger issues and other immediate personal needs. But first of all, you have to work on the person's psyche because the truth is, living in the streets and begging somehow affects the person's mental well-being, and they need constant psychiatric evaluation after they are being taken off the street. When I say psychiatric, it doesn't mean the person is mentally challenged or something. It means the person's thoughts and everything is centered around, for example, his thoughts and everything is centered around the street life and everything. So you have to bring that person, look for someone who will constantly talk to that person, change his mindset, and give him something, teach him something reasonable to do, something that will continue to give him or her, you understand, that life skill to always work with, not just give him money. So I think that's the mistake we always do, and that's why they always go back to the street.
Okay. So what is your advice to persons with disabilities?
My advice for them is that they should see themselves beyond just street begging. They should see the potentials in them. They should let people help them if they want to help them. And they should find ways. I've seen people that started with just as little as 2,000 naira or even 1,000 naira to start frying akara or something on the road, or start selling a recharge card. It depends on what your ability is, what you can do as a person with disability. Because I don't believe that as a person with disability you cannot do anything. It's only a physical thing. Your mental, except of course persons with mental disability, but every other thing is your mental capacity is there. So I think there's always something you can do. So I don't always believe that it's a hopeless case that will make you to go to the streets and start begging. Thank you for
We
having
look forward
me.
to having you some other time.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is where we draw the curtain. It has been a wonderful discussion with a comedian, a lawyer, an activist. Keep watching, same time, same station.